Assalamualaikum students, a very warm welcome to all of you in my class. What we are going to learn today, we will learn how to represent your data with the help of graphical presentation, means how to represent your data by displaying the charts or the diagrams. So let's get started. First of all, we divide the presentation on the basis of the quantitative data and on the basis of the qualitative data, because they both are different from each other. When we make the graphs for the quantitative data, remember that. So for the quantitative data, we use histogram, we use frequency polygon, frequency curve. They both are look like each other, similar to each other, but there is a slight difference, and that will be covered today. Then the line chart or graph and the cumulative frequency graph, which is known as the O-guides, and then the scatter diagram. When we talk about the qualitative data, that how we represent the qualitative data by graphical presentation, we make pie charts, bar graphs, which is similar to the histogram, but there is a slight difference. Pictogram and map diagram. Map diagrams and pictograms are not so common in the medical sciences. They are used in the statistical mapping for analyzing the weather conditions such as global warming. One thing remember, when we construct a graph, always remember the dependent variable will lie on the x-axis and the independent variable will be lie on the y-axis. Like if we construct the histogram for the group frequency distribution, we will make the classes on the x-axis because they are the dependent variable, and the frequencies means percentage of the data. Also remember that the data is further divided from the quantitative and qualitative data to the subtype, which is known as the ungrouped data and the grouped data. When the data is ungrouped, we use line graph, bar graph, pie diagram, which is also known as the circle diagram. And when the data is grouped, we use histogram, frequency curve, and frequency polygon. Okay, now first we are starting with the line graph. Line graph is a simple mathematical graph which is drawn on the graph paper by plotting the data collected by one variable on the horizontal x-axis and the other variable on the vertical y-axis. And I've told you that the dependent variable will always lie on the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, and the independent variable will be on the y-axis, like number of classes on the x-axis and frequency on the y-axis. Now let's take a look. This is a simple data. It's a table which represents time and the number of times it is repeating. Frequency means number of time the same value is repeating. So 10 p.m. have the frequency of 2, and the whole data is showing you that time is the dependent variable and the frequency is the independent variable. And let's construct a line graph. So how we will construct that, I'll show you. This is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. Okay, on the x-axis I will plot the time. Okay, I will make the frequency here and 25. Okay, 10 p.m. has the frequency of 2. So by judging the graph, I assume that 2 will be lie here. 2. Okay. Then 11 has the frequency of 6. 3 p.m. 5. 4 p.m. 4, 5 p.m. also 4, and 6 p.m. 3. Now by the help of line, I will connect all those points. So this is how we construct the line graph. Now let us discuss that what is frequency polygon. Frequency polygon is essentially a line graph, just like a line graph, and we can construct it from the histogram if the midpoint of the upper bases of the rectangle. Histogram have the rectangle. Upper bases of the rectangle are connected by a straight line. But one thing I want to clarify, that for constructing the frequency polygon, it is not essential, it is not necessary to first construct the histogram. You can construct the frequency polygon by the help of the frequency distribution. But the question is arising here that why do we need to construct a frequency polygon? So the first point is, when the data is given in the form of frequency, we construct the frequency polygon. If we are comparing two or more graphs, we also make frequency polygons. If we are or when we are presenting two or more data in our graph, so we make frequency polygon. For example, in the frequency distribution table, we have a variable which is known as gender, and then it is further divided in the table into female and male. So here is the question, and we have to construct the frequency polygon. You are seeing that it is a group data. I have told you that frequency polygon are created for the group data. Now let's see, the gender is split into male and female. Now in the frequency polygon, we need to display the both data, and there is the midpoint. Always remember, for the frequency polygon, you have to calculate the midpoint in the table. So the midpoint are written here. So let's see how to construct the frequency polygon. So first I will make the frequency polygon for the female, because ladies first. So let's see how to make it. So the frequency is 2 and the midpoint is 25. So I will plot here 2030, the center of 2030, the midpoint is here 25, and this is the frequency 2. Then 35 is the midpoint of the second frequency, which is 6. 35, 6. Now let's connect these lines with the help of a regular line. Okay. Now let's construct it for the male. 35, 9. 35, 9. 45, 7. 55, 4. Then 65, 2. Okay. See, this is how we construct the frequency polygon. Now let's take a look on the frequency curve. Frequency curve, it is an other graphical representation of the data, and it is slightly different from the frequency polygon in terms of how to draw it. In the frequency polygon, the line is straight. The upper value of the frequency polygon is drawn by the straight line, but it is drawn in the form of a curve. It forms a curve. Why it forms a curve? Because for the frequency polygon we are using scale to draw it, but for the frequency curve we use freehand to draw it without the help of the scale. Now let's see how to construct a frequency curve. But first there is also the same question rises, that why do we need to draw the frequency curve? It is drawn when the class interval, the number of class interval is large, it is the width of the class interval is small. Then we use the frequency curve. So students, we have a data here and we need to construct the frequency curve for the particular data. The data shows ages in year, frequency and the midpoint of that class interval. On the x-axis I have ages in year, and on the y-axis I have the frequencies here. Here I have created the class with the help of the midpoint. So the first frequency 2 has a midpoint of 5. So I will mark here 2. 7 has a frequency of 6. Now I will construct the frequency curve, and I will make a curve here with very free hand. So this is how we construct the frequency curve. Here we covered some of the graphs today. I hope you have learned something new from that particular topic, and in the next video we will continue from different types of graph.